On December the 17th, 1834, Ireland's very first train moved slowly away from Westland Row Station, beginning the 10-mile journey to Kingstown, which we now know as Dunleary. It was a novel experience for people used to travelling in horse-drawn carriages. For the first time, carriages were pulled along by a locomotive, a large engine burning coal and wood to produce the steam that powered its wheels. The train travelled along iron rails held in place by wooden sleepers fixed to the ground. The man who made this great event possible by building the railway was William Dargan, the son of a tenant farmer from County Carlow. When he left school, William got a job with the famous Scottish engineer Thomas Telford, and they worked together building the very long road from London to Holyhead. Dargan and Telford got along together very well, and Telford asked Dargan to survey and then build the final leg of the road from Howth into Dublin. When it was completed, the road was admired by many engineers who considered it a model for other roads. That successful project established Dargan's reputation as a major public works contractor. For his Howth Road achievement, he was awarded £300, a huge sum at the time, and he invested all of that in yet more public works. Dargan then won a contract to deepen Belfast Harbour to give bigger ships access to the city's docks. During dredging the channel, all the soil that was excavated was dumped on the County Down side of the harbour. That created a new island which was known as Dargan's Island. It was later renamed Queen's Island, and later still it became the site of the great Harland and Wolff shipyard. Dargan specialised in building canals. He worked on the Kilbeggan section of the Grand Canal and the Ulster Canal connecting Lough Neagh and Lough Erne. However, he soon realised that railways would put an end to canal building. So, when Ireland's first railway from Dublin to Kingstown was being proposed, he had worked endless unpaid hours planning every detail of that project. His tender of £83,000 to build it was accepted. That's the equivalent of about €10 million today. Now at that time, Dargan was living in a house in Goatstown, Dublin. It was called Cedar Mount because of the mature cedar trees that surrounded it. One day, a tree happened to fall, and a blacksmith called. He wanted a block of the cedar to put under his anvil, and he explained that the wood stopped the metal from rebounding from his hammer blows as he shaped horseshoes. This conversation with the blacksmith inspired William Dargan. He realized that wooden sleepers would be a huge improvement over iron ones for supporting railway lines. Of course, the blacksmith got the block of wood, and to mark the revelation, Dargan changed the name of his home to Mount Anvil, and he immediately started building railway lines on wooden sleepers. As Dargan began building the railway line to Kingstown along the coast, it drew fierce opposition from some landowners, mostly on aesthetic grounds, but Dargan managed to win them over. He built Italian-style ornate granite towers, bridges, tunnels, and even bathing places. When the line opened in December 1834, it was declared a triumph of engineering and constructive ability. During the next 30 years, Dargan constructed over 800 miles of railway track connecting the cities and towns of Ireland. Dargan was completely absorbed in all his projects. He used a 3-room carriage, the Dargan Saloon, as his travelling home and office as he supervised various rail projects. He followed the tracks as they were laid, even across difficult bogland. During the Great Famine from 1845 to 1852, a combination of potato blight and the British government inaction resulted in about 1 million people starving to death, and at least another 1 million emigrating to escape the hunger. Dargan was furious at the sight of large quantities of food donated from abroad lying wasting at seaports. There was just no way of getting it to the hordes of starving people wandering the roads of Ireland searching for something to eat. Dargan swung into action. He launched a major railway expansion program which did much more than improve transportation. His many projects provided vitally important employment in many parts of the country. Somehow, Dargan managed to keep his projects going financially by getting credit from suppliers who trusted him. He paid them with bonds and shares. However, he handed out hard cash to his workers. He gave hungry men seeking work a week's wages in advance, and he told them to come back when they had regained their strength. He built a reputation for treating his workers well and for paying them above average wages. Almost single-handedly, he was revitalizing the Irish economy, and in 1853 he employed over 50,000 men. Then, as a boost to the country battling to recover from the effects of the famine, he organized a great exhibition of art and industry, which was set up on the lawn of Leinster House. The exhibition was to showcase the very best of Irish industry and art, and Dargan contributed £20,000 of his own money to the project. The great exhibition was a huge success, and it laid the foundation for the National Gallery of Ireland. Even today, the Dargan wing of the gallery recognises his exceptional commitment and innovation. Queen Victoria visited the exhibition and she asked to be presented to Dargan. He was brought to her and she held out her hand to him. But Dargan was rather shy and he held back, so Victoria just touched his arm and the crowd went wild. Victoria also visited the Dargan home at Mount Anville, and it was the first ever visit of the Queen to the home of an untitled subject. In her diary, she wrote,
"He is touchingly simple and modest. I would have made him a baronet, but he was anxious that it should not be done."
So Lord Dargan was just not to be. Sadly, at the age of 66, William Dargan was badly injured in a fall from his horse. He never fully recovered, and he died 2 years later. A guard of honour of 700 rail workers and a funeral cortege of 230 horse-drawn carriages accompanied the mortal remains of William Dargan to his final resting place in Dublin's Glasnevin Cemetery. Anyone who has walked along a canal path, crossed a railway bridge, or travelled on a railway line will have enjoyed the great legacy of a truly talented and generous man. Dargan's greatest legacy, however, is that employment provided by him put food on tables all over Ireland when people needed it most. William Dargan was truly one of Ireland's greatest.